Is this the most comfortable shoe in the world? That's what Allbirds says. Let's find out for ourselves. What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm reviewing the Allbirds Tree Runner. So I've actually been aware of Allbirds for a couple years now, but what actually got me to spend the $95 and pick this sneaker up was that I saw Obama wearing a pair at that Duke game. He also had on that black jacket with the 44 stitched into the sleeve. That jacket was sick. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that the sneakers that I usually review are hyped up sneakers for sneakerheads or performance sneakers for running or basketball. This sneaker is kind of none of those things. This is a super minimal sneaker designed mainly for comfort and lifestyle wear and is worn a lot by those people out in Silicon Valley. Needless to say, it's not really a sneakerhead shoe and it's not something that I would ever wear in my regular rotation. But at the end of the day, if it's good enough for a former president, it's probably good enough for me. So let's find out how good it actually is. A few months ago, Allbirds actually reached out to sponsor a video, and I said no at the time because I wasn't sure if it was content that you guys would want to see, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized if I'm actually going to review this shoe, I want to spend the money and wear it for myself and really give my honest, unbiased opinions on this sneaker. So that's what this video is. I dropped the $95 myself and I wore this sneaker for a week, and these are my thoughts. The first sneaker that they released was the Wool Runner, which looked almost exactly the same except it had a wool upper instead of this eucalyptus tree fiber upper. The original Wool Runner version is still available, but the reason I went for the Tree Runner, other than the fact that this is the one that Obama was wearing, is because instead of wool, this one uses a eucalyptus tree fiber mesh upper, which is apparently a little bit lighter and a little bit more breathable than the wool. The mesh on my pair comes in sort of this dark gray upper, which is a little bit less obtrusive than some of the other colors, and I've got to be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of really any of the color options on the website except for this one. I just don't love the way this upper or the sneaker as a whole looks. I feel like this upper is just a little bit too plain, and I'm usually a fan of minimal uppers, but this one just kind of looks like a shoe that you'd get in H&M. Now the main benefit that this upper supposedly provides is that it's very breathable, more so than the wool upper. According to Allbirds, this is both a shoe that you can wear with socks and without socks. I usually wear my shoes with socks, so that's what I did a majority of the time in this sneaker, but I did wear it once without socks. I've got to be honest, it's still pretty hot, even with the mesh upper. The mesh is, however, very lightweight, like they said, and it is very flexible, so it feels good on foot. It actually feels like you're just wearing a regular sock, which, I've got to be honest, is pretty similar to some of the Adidas Prime Knit sneakers. So even though this eucalyptus tree upper is pretty comfortable, it's nothing extraordinary, and it's nothing that I haven't really felt before. That said, this sneaker is only $95, which is definitely cheaper than the retail prices of a lot of Adidas Prime Knit sneakers, but nowadays you can find a lot of those shoes on sale for actually less than 95 bucks. So the price point, I guess, isn't as good of an argument as it would have been a year ago. The upper, as I mentioned, is very minimal. You're not really going to get any frills. It is comfortable, but it doesn't look that great. It's nice and it's lightweight, but I don't think it's very durable. If you're just wearing the shoe to the office or maybe wearing the shoe around the house, you should be fine and it should last you a long time. However, if you're walking around city streets for hours on end, this will probably only last you a couple months. Moving inside the sneaker, you've got a little bit of a wool sock liner around the heel of the shoe. It does have a little bit of padding, which cups your heel pretty nicely, but it's nothing incredible. The rest of the upper of the shoe is pretty much just this mesh, so you're not going to get any structure or support around the rest of the upper. The insole of the sneaker also comes in wool and is pretty much where you're going to get all your cushion underfoot because it's the most heavily padded part of the shoe. I mean, seriously, look at that. It's very heavily padded, which is a good thing because the midsole isn't very soft. The wool underfoot is fine. It does pill a little bit, which I guess isn't too big of a deal, but it's something to keep in mind. One thing I did like about the insole, in addition to the padding, is that it does have some nice arch support, which is a welcome addition. Again, if you're wearing the shoe without socks, your foot is definitely going to get sweaty, and that's not helped at all by the wool on the heel or the wool underfoot. As for fit, the Allbirds Tree Runner does seem to fit true to size. In the week I was wearing this shoe, I didn't have any trouble with fit. It's not too narrow, it's not too wide, it just seemed to fit my foot fine. But as I always suggest, if you have a chance to try the shoe on first before you buy it, make sure to do that to make sure the sizing is right for you. Moving down on the sneaker, you get to this low density foam midsole and outsole that comes in a matching charcoal color. In my opinion, this is definitely the lowest point of the shoe. It kind of feels cheap and it doesn't really add anything to the sneaker. It's not especially comfortable. In fact, the only reason the midsole of the shoe was comfortable was because of the padded insole. It is flexible, which is a good thing, but it's still a surprisingly stiff midsole, and I kind of wish they had gone with something softer or just something that felt a little bit higher end. And the reason I think that's kind of a big deal is because you can buy sneakers with much more comfortable midsoles for half the price. True, they don't have that super padded insole, but that's something you can add with like a pair of Dr. Scholl's. Then finally, moving to the bottom of the sneaker, you've got this linear traction pattern that doesn't seem to help or hurt the shoe. It's just kind of there. One thing that I did actually notice and really like about this outsole is that it was very quiet on smooth surfaces. Like with basketball sneakers and running sneakers, that rubber can really squeak if you make any sort of sharp movements, but this This shoe didn't really make any sounds and didn't bother anyone in quiet environments. Overall, the Allbirds Tree Runner is a decent sneaker. No, it's definitely not the most comfortable sneaker in the world, but it's not bad. I still think that there are options that are more comfortable than this shoe at cheaper price points, especially when they're on sale, but it's not a terrible price at $95. The upper is actually the most comfortable part of this shoe because it's very flexible and offers a lot of give. The midsole, while flexible, is still pretty stiff and doesn't really offer any cushioning underfoot. That's all from the insole. On cold days, this shoe is great because it'll keep your feet warm. On hot days, you're gonna be sweating like crazy. Even with the pair of socks, it's almost too much. And honestly, I think it's a very boring looking sneaker. And I know they use a lot of environmentally friendly materials and manufacturing processes, and I think that's great. And if you're into that, this is a great sneaker for you, but for me, it's not something I would ever really wear on a regular basis. I really like what Allbirds is trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish by creating comfortable lifestyle sneakers. I also love the fact that when you return a sneaker, they actually donate it. I think that's the coolest thing. As a sneakerhead, this shoe is definitely not for me. And for normal people, I think you can actually find more comfortable shoes for cheaper. You will have to do some extra work to find some good sales, but I think it's doable. But if you like the way this sneaker looks and you think it is very comfortable, or if you work at a startup and everyone else is wearing the shoes and you just want to fit in, I guess this shoe is for you. But that pretty much wraps up the video for today. Now, I would love to know your thoughts on this shoe and whether this is a shoe that you would consider picking up. So make sure to leave those comments in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe down below if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.